You know, some people believe in forgive and forget. I believe in forgive, but take note. Shout out to all my replay watchers, by the way. I believe in forgive, but take note. Like, okay, I'm not going to hold on to what you did. I'm not going to hold on to what you said. But I ain't going to forget what that just showed me about who you truly are. You did whatever you did. I'm not going to go seek vengeance. I'm not going to look to tear you down. I'm not going to expend more energy than what you clearly shown me you really deserve. I'm not going to keep wasting my presence, my time on you. I got so much ahead of me. I'm going to focus on that. But guess what? I am going to keep that in my notepad, mentally speaking. I'm not going to let that off the hook. Because to let that off the hook don't mean I need to get you some type of consequences or anything like that. I'm going to let karma handle that. I'm going to let God handle that. But I'm not going to forget what you just showed me about who you truly are and what you've always been to me. Because that's a matter of protecting me. And even the Bible says, guard your heart. I'm going to tell y'all something. I run into a lot of y'all that want to forgive somebody, but at the expense of the lesson that you are really privileged to be able to learn at this point. Sometimes a person will show you things, it'll hurt. And the reason why it hurts so bad is because you ain't really thought that much about how much worse it would have been if you kept diving deeper into that investment or that relationship, kept investing. Sometimes it hurts so bad. Oh my gosh, how can they do me like this? I done lost all of this time. I done lost all of this energy and love. They wasted it. They played with me. But how much worse would it have been if you learned that lesson later? It was actually a privilege to learn it as early as you did. But some of y'all would be so quick to try to forgive and forget. And what you end up doing is forgive and erase the lesson you could have learned. So now you're about to learn it all over again. And you keep having to go into this cycle of forgiving and forgiving. Now you are a perpetual forgiver. There's only one thing worse than somebody who's a perpetual betrayer, a perpetual abuser, a perpetual mishandler of your heart, whatever. And that's you being a perpetual forgiver. You shouldn't have to forgive more than once or twice. And twice only if they really invested something and it really warrants you continuing to evaluate if this is really this person's true colors once they show you something different than what you thought. Y'all be perpetual forgivers. Now, I'm not saying don't forgive. I'll never tell you that. Because we are all products of grace, myself included. We all need to be forgiven for something. But that relationship got to take on a different shape if they prove to you that based on who they are, it's not safe to be as close to them as what you once were. That's not a matter of forgiveness or not. That's a matter of protection of yourself. But I'm going to tell you something. Especially when y'all dealing with dudes, and I'm saying this more so from a brotherly standpoint, I'm going to tell you the truth. Tell you the truth. It's two situations that's always going to show you a man's true colors. One of them is whenever he think you ain't going nowhere, but he upset. If a man think you ain't going nowhere, but he upset, whatever he's saying at time, he going to show you his true colors. And see, a lot of times, this is going to take you being dependent on him or something like that. Like, you know, your money ain't right. You're pregnant. You're sick. Maybe you done reveal some insecurities to him where you don't really want to start over with nobody else. Something to where he feels really secure in terms of your presence physically. But then he get upset with you. And so, unfortunately, you have some people who will only treat you good according to what they think they're going to lose you. Like they think they could lose you or fumble you, and then they get the good treatment. Then they want to make sure they stay on their P's and Q's. But when you get a dude who think that, well, as long as she ain't going nowhere, I'm going to let it all out. I'm going to say how I really feel. Or I'm going to treat her any kind of way. I promise you, whatever that man say in that time, that's the truth. Oh, actions speak louder than words. Them words say plenty. If he think you ain't going nowhere and he's upset. How a man treats you whenever you're pregnant. How a man treats you when you at your lowest. How a man treats you whenever he knows your deepest, darkest secrets. Your most long-held insecurities. Always going to be his true colors. Now, why am I saying this? Is because a lot of times what a guy will try to do is gaslight you into thinking, well, I was upset. Now, what's the context of being upset? Because everybody can get upset and say things in the wrong tone. Maybe use the wrong verbiage. But you're not going to get upset and say something completely opposite to what you truly feel. If, let's say, I'm a heterosexual man, I'm never going to get upset and be like, oh, I'm going to go suck a dick. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I got vulgar. I don't get that upset. It don't exist. So I can never be like, oh, I was upset. That's why I said I wanted to go do that to another man. No. Just imagine if your dude got mad at you and said, I'm going to go let another dude run up in me. And then later on, like, I was upset. I was really mad. I know I said some things I shouldn't have said. I know I said some things that were mean. That wasn't mean. I didn't mean it. No, motherfucker, you meant that. That came from somewhere. You might use a wrong tone because you get excited. Your central nervous system ain't regulated. You might use the wrong words because, again, you're in your emotions. So the actual vocabulary choice may be a little different. Might say some cuss words. Might say some strong words. It may come out a little bit more harsh. But you're not going to say something completely separate from what's in your heart on some level if you get upset. And that man get upset and trying to apologize his way back into wasting your time, back into being with you, even though he's showing you that he resents you. Those are his true colors. And whatever he show you in that time, please understand, if you go back with him, that didn't change. He may hide it a little bit better. Most times, the only reason why he don't apologize is because he now realizes he's about to lose you. But he may hide it a little bit better, but that's how he truly feel about you. Ain't nobody gonna want you. That's how he truly feels. You think somebody else gonna want you when you got 2 kids, when you got 3 kids? That's how he truly feels. He looks down on you. For the children, he put in your stomach. Or for the children, he once told you he cool with coming in as a stepdad, as a co-parent. He told you that. He didn't mean none of that. Whatever that man says, whenever he think you ain't going nowhere, but he upset, he mean that. And here's the second situation. And it's almost the exact opposite. But when a man is convinced that he can't get you back, that it's really over, he about to show them true colors. Now, again, this is different than if y'all falling out, it may be a relationship break, maybe it's still fresh, he think he got a chance. He may play it cool. You know what I'm saying? But if he really sees you moved on in a new relationship or really not responding to him in any way that says he still got power over you or that you're attracted to him or that you're open to him, that man about to show his true colors. And if he get to doing the smear campaign, y'all be wondering why dudes do smear campaigns. The true colors, let me say this because you got to make sure you're interpreting it correctly. When a man goes on a smear campaign, that man was jealous of you. No man is going to go on a smear campaign unless there was jealousy about the way other people loved you. And it is dangerous to be in close proximity to somebody who is jealous of you. What up, Jocelyn? Y'all be sitting there thinking a man, I always see it though. A lot of guys will have this whole, oh, I'm a traditional man. I want a woman that stays at home and takes care of the home. No, you want a woman that don't trigger those insecure, jealous demons that you got. That's what you want. I want a woman that's going to take care of some women, because I've seen women that can take care of the house and still go and put energy into a side hustle or a business or a skill or something like that. And these dudes be really mad at that because they're jealous. I know that sounds crazy, but any man that go on a smear campaign about you, he hated the way other people loved you. That's why he wants to attack that. For some reason that threatened him, for some reason that pissed him off. More than likely, you held up a mirror to all of the ways in which he wasn't loved the way that he wanted to be loved. He wasn't readily received and responded to the way that he wanted to be. I know it'd be shocking because you might look at this man and say, well, I admire things about him. He's such a hard worker. He got so much going on for himself. He got blah, 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 blah. The insecurities don't really care what the reality is. It just come down to how he feel. That's why some people, it's like if they don't feel like they're attractive, you can tell them they're attractive all day. They don't believe it. There's some dudes who are out here, they got a lot going for themselves, but if they're truly insecure, they don't want nobody near them doing better in any aspect. You may not have the money a man has. You may not have it. But if you go hard or people just love your sense of humor if people just love your kindness, if people just readily help you, doors just open for you, he could be jealous of that because there's this grace on your life. I've seen dudes tell a woman, hey, you ain't got to work. I got the bills. I got the this, that, and the other. And they get jealous because she's well rested every day. Man, you ain't doing nothing around this house. The house be taken care of. But they literally be jealous. They find something to be jealous about. You'll be surprised how many insecure men are walking around here. The reason why I'm telling you this, because some of y'all be thinking, what am I going to do with this information? What you do with this information is, first off, stop letting dudes back in to finish what they started. When they hurt you the first time, and they did it from a place of their true heart posture, because we all got flaws. I got flaws, you got flaws, we all got flaws. Nobody's perfect. I'm not on no pedestal. Nobody's on one. But there's a difference between the person who is imperfect and the person who is not worth it. There's a difference between the person who made a mistake and the person who is a mistake to be close to. One did a thing that was wrong. One is a person that's wrong. So when a person does you wrong because they're wrong, their heart posture is wrong. They're at a foundational level, at a fundamental level. They are wrong for you. They're jealous of you. They're going to steal, kill, and destroy somehow. That's the person you cannot let back in. Now, again, if he made a mistake, if he made a wrong move, of course, consequences, but evaluate to see where his heart truly lies. And if he can prove that pattern, that's up to you to determine if that's safe or not to go back into investment with. But you'll have a lot of dudes who are literally wrong for you, and when they see whatever they did not destroy you, they want a second chance to finish what they started. If what I'm saying makes sense, tell me if I'm speaking facts or fiction. Tell me if I'm speaking facts or fiction. The two times you're going to see that man's true colors, and you cannot ignore this, because you may shock him in your resilience. You may shock him. First off, if he think you ain't going nowhere and you actually leave, you may shock him. And now he's going to act all repentant and sorry and remorseful when really he ain't. He's just shocked you were actually willing to leave the relationship. He didn't know that. He didn't take that into account. So it's like, oh, let me put my mask back on real quick. Oh, dang, let me go ahead. My dentures fell out. My everything fell off my face. Let me go ahead and put my wig back on. It's like, let me put on this whole facade back again. Like, dang, I didn't know. I thought I had a little bit more power over her than what I ended up having. And when a dude think you not coming back, and who knows, you may be truly not coming back, by the way. But he sees you actually giving other men a chance or whatever the case may be, and he gonna show his true colors. What he really thought of you. I ain't want you no way. You was just this anyway. Da-da-da-da. That's why when dudes get rejected, this used to be in the very beginning. When you ever rejected a guy and seen him get butthurt, because in that kind of situation, he knows you're not invested or whatever, you're really not interested. You can be as polite as a woman. So a lot of y'all be scared to reject a dude. You could be so polite. You could be so kind in how you say, hey, I'm not interested. I don't even want you. I'm doing you a favor by letting you know now I'm not interested. You're not trying to use him. You're not trying to get no free date or money or food out of him. You just want him to leave you alone. I'm okay. Thank you. No, thank you. I don't want to give my number out right now. And then that dude hurls some of the nastiest insults towards you. He's in that space of showing you, first off, his true colors, because now he's realized he can't have you. Now you're going to get his true colors. I ain't want you no way. I always thought you was this. You ain't all that anyway. True colors. Now, if you made, I want to say mistake, but you know what? You trusting somebody ain't a mistake. You're vulnerable with somebody. And trusting somebody, loving somebody, is you giving them the ability to hurt you while trusting that they won't. And that's the only way to get somebody who truly loves you anyway. The problem is, if you still have a soul tied to that person that mishandled that didn't deserve that, now you're making a mistake by not breaking the soul tie. Because all you're getting ready to do is repeat the exact same pattern. Whether we like it or not, whenever we give somebody access to our heart, we give them access to our vibration, our energy. That's why if you're with somebody who ain't right for you, your energy changes. It depletes after a while. Your friends notice it. They'll tell you. You ever got out of a toxic relationship and your friend, I knew something was wrong. I felt like something was wrong. They felt your energy changing. And if you do not break that soul tie afterwards, you're going to continue magnetizing now what's on the same level as your energy. Whatever's currently in the same frequency, you're going to start magnetizing that. until you break that soul tie. You're going to feel like you have trust issues. You're going to feel like you can't trust no man. You're going to feel like maybe real love, in the context I thought it existed, maybe it don't. You're going to feel afraid to open up. You're going to sabotage if a man is actually who he said he is, because deep down in your mind, you've come to an agreement. You've come to believe that what you experienced must be out there outside of who you experienced it with before. That's all a soul tie. That's not just healing. That's not just trust issues. You have to break the soul tie. And there are other red flags that you currently have a soul tie. And a lot of times you may have multiple soul ties. Not because you do witchcraft or nothing crazy, just because you gave the best of you to somebody who didn't deserve it. And that best of you may have just been on a physical level, but especially if it got emotional and you developed feelings. Now, you don't have to live with that soul tie. I'm telling you this so you can be aware. But there, again, it goes so much deeper. If you want to know how to break that soul tie, or how to see if you have a soul tie to break, it's not the hardest thing in the world to break. You just have to know the steps to take. I lay those out in the masterclass. Breaking the soul tie. It's down here in the comments. Breaking the soul tie. I literally gave you a step-by-step. I simplified it for you. And it's free, by the way. Derek'sFreeMasterclass.com, or the link down here in the comments. You can watch that right after. Because a lot of times you be running into the same type of guys that playing the same type of games, and it's all because of a soul tie. It seems like everybody else out here is getting the type of man that they want and being able to find a man who is safe to love and bring out the best of them, but why not you? It's because you still have a soul tie. Don't nobody like to talk about it, but I don't like to present just problems. There is a solution, but you just have to be willing to break it. Moral of the story is this, though. Do not ignore what a man shows you when you're at your lowest. Do not, because that's when he feels like you ain't going nowhere. However a man treats you at your lowest is how he feels about you. You sick, and he still want to go out and do whatever, that's how that man feels about you. You pregnant, that's how that man feels about you. Good or bad now, but especially whenever you see it bad, because now it's time to protect yourself. A lot of times when it's good, it's not that we don't want to acknowledge that, but when it's good, okay, that's exactly who you thought you was getting. When he hold it down, when he have your back, when he comforts you, when he's compassionate, when he's graceful. That's good. No cause for alarm there. Those men exist. But when you get with these guys who see you at your lowest and they bring you even lower, or they capitalize on the opportunity they think they got, or when the man realizes he really ain't got no more chances with you, or he's convinced of that, he finally loses hope. He gets discouraged to keep trying to get you back. Whatever he does after he gets discouraged of getting you back, he tries your friend, or he hurls insults, or a smear campaign, or he tries to wreck everything that you've built. He tried to get you fired. That man was probably jealous, was definitely jealous of one of those things, resented you. Whole time you was being his number one cheerleader, he was your number one hater. Your biggest enemy. You were sleeping with the enemy. Do with this information what you will. But if anything that I said you found to be true, hit the share button so somebody else can get this truth. Don't be selfish. I'm your internet big brother. Those are just my thoughts. I'm looking out per usual because I got y'all. And if you want more, but you want more in-depth conversation, especially on the topic of breaking the soul tie and how to recognize if you have any, click the link down here in the comments. Right here, Derek'sFreeMasterclass.com. I don't know how it's showing up on y'all end, but if you're on Facebook, there's a little link you can press. Get access to that masterclass. It's going to bless you. In case you have any soul ties, you can wipe that slate clean and receive the man that God actually has for you. Oh, the link is also in the caption or description too. But I'll let y'all lady, y'all be good.